Alright everybody, here we are and hope I'm audible and everything's clear. Right now this live is gonna be again 1.5 hours long, and firstly we will fix the issue of this website first of all, and that is the Excalidraw clone, and then we'll switch to Google Meet and then let's see what all we can do. So first of all, this is the error that we've been facing, that is failed to create image asset. So whenever we are trying to, especially where, what's the URL here, pages, the ID and the image assets, fine. So if I go to the backend part right now, and so pages, ID and image assets, and right now we are, this is a post request. So this is the part that is just simply used for creating create image assets. So request.body is here, that is fine, and at the end of the day this is the error that we are getting. And what could be the reason behind this? Alrighty, let's check this thing out now. So and meanwhile I wanna check one more thing, that is S3 storage. Excalidraw. And these are the images that I've been actually saving so far. That's fine. Let's just simply permanently delete them. Alright, so this is how it's gonna be going on, and now the next thing is to just simply start saving the images and all. So what is the problem in here? Const await image asset create many and return foreign key constant violated on the constant image set page ID foreign key image asset and the foreign key constant violated. So what am I missing here? We are trying to save the image asset, but it is just simply telling me the foreign key. So in that case, uploaded by and the ID of the user, that is fine. And especially when we delete a particular user, suppose if I'm gonna be deleting that, then or everything should be deleted related to that. But okay, that's not a problem right now. We have the board ID that is completely optional over here. So the board ID and the page ID both. Image asset, that's not really a big problem as well. And right now I'm gonna be making it mandatory. So the image asset, whenever we are saving it, we have to save the board ID as well. Then in there. So the image belongs to a board. Yeah, that is right. So whenever we are saving the image, so page and the board ID, it doesn't really need to be passed, but we can definitely pass it there. This way we will be able to get all the images related to the board. That is also fine. Page route and the images, we are passing the image ID, but in that way actually we are not really passing the board ID here. So page ID, and that is it. So that's not a big problem, because at the end of the day page belongs to, if we don't have it here, that's completely fine. Mainly this part in here, because the image asset has the page ID, page has the board ID. So this way I'll be able to get it. That is also fine. So if I'm keeping it optional, that's fine as of right now. So what is the issue now? Foreign key constraint violated on the constraint image asset page ID. Foreign key, page ID foreign key. Does it mean that particular page doesn't exist? What does this error mean anyway? What does it mean? Foreign key constant violated on the constraint image page ID. Foreign key means the page ID you are trying to insert into image does not exist in the page table. Interesting. So the page ID doesn't exist. But we have this page over here. Come on, can't I delete it? Finally deleted, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So if I delete the whole page, I'm redirected here. I should be getting an option to just create a page. This board isn't really there, that is fine. I can directly go to the dashboard. So this new board is being redirected to here. There's no page that ID, that's fine. We will have to create a new board. We'll have to fix this later. We are sending the board ID from here. As expected, we have to send the page ID from here. That's the problematic thing. So it's all about sending the right values whenever we are creating the image assets. Image APIs we have, and at the end of the day, where am I using this create image assets? First of all, in here, image assets controller, that is fine, no problem as such. Use clipboard. So especially when we are pasting it, again that's not that problematic thing. Mainly this part, create image assets, it now expects the page ID and we are sending the board ID. What a crazy thing. So this is what we have to fix everywhere, then it's gonna be done. Page ID. So let's go check them all out. Get pages, that's not really being used, that's fine. This thing is done, this thing is done. Update images, in case if I'm using it somewhere. Router we have, image API we have, controller we have, not really being used, and this is from the image API itself. Okay, that's fine, it should ideally be okay now. Let me delete this one. Now let me try inserting the image here, and the important part is gonna be this, and image is just simply being saved there successfully. That simply means if I reload the page, I'm gonna get the image. Alrighty, that's what I wanted. Let's keep it here, and we can just draw a few more things. Send to back, and this is a bird. I suppose that's what I'm writing here, and we can just simply change its color. I'm gonna be having it in here. What else can we do? Let's create a group out of it, or duplicate this, that would be better. Now I'm gonna create a group. So now this is the overall group for them. Let it be like this. So yeah, this is it. And apart from this particular thing, we can even have it at the end. It doesn't really make any difference. Let's keep it here. And duplication, okay, we can even further duplicate it as many times as we want, or deletion is also working. We can copy it and then we can in fact paste it again. Allow. Now the thing is that whether this is actually being persisted or not. Great, it works. And link, I haven't really implemented it yet. As for the font size, we can definitely change the font size, I mean, let it be like this. So the font size is definitely gonna be changed, and if I reload it, hopefully it's even being saved. Yeah, it is definitely being saved. And the edges, so let me change the edges of this one. It's gonna be pure rectangle. This one is gonna be a little one. I'm even gonna be changing the style of this one, stroke style, and a bit thicker. Okay, so this is how just simply gonna be going on. So ultimately this is what I've done, and the second one is actually nothing but, I mean, both of them are groups, and right now I'm just simply gonna be creating a frame. So this is the frame, and both are just part of this particular frame. So it's gonna be top level frame. So this is how it's gonna be going on. Now if I just simply can I copy the frame itself, and hopefully once we copy the frame, everything is copied. We'll create a new page right now, page number 2. Once a page gets created, I should be, I mean, redirected to that particular page, but okay, never mind. Let me paste it in here, whatever we had it back then. So okay, when we just copy a frame, just a frame is copied, nothing else. Well, we didn't really want this. In that case, let me come back here. As for this loading stuff, I don't want to reload the whole page, right? I want to reload probably just this part. So we will work on that, but as for right now, let me just copy it all. We have copied this, paste it here. So ultimately what is happening that hopefully, yeah, it is still part of that. So now if we reload the page, loading the board, we have it here, we have it here, so it works. And the next thing that we want, that is renaming, renamed page. Enter. We can have a button as well there, we will work on that. Yeah, I mean, button to save, but as for right now, this is completely fine. This way we can just simply keep creating it. We can delete the page. The interesting thing is that as we delete the page, all the shapes, they should be deleted automatically. So if I actually go to the shapes, this is something we have to check later, but when it comes to shape, so shape, they have the page ID, and this is on cascade, delete, on delete cascade. So when we delete a page, so all the shapes are deleted automatically, hopefully. So now if I just come on, delete this page, so that's just simply gone. Alrighty, let's work on some more things right now. How long has it been? It's been 90 minutes. For 10 more minutes, let's work on the features. The next feature that I actually want to have here, that is duplicating the page, and yeah, merely duplicating the page and moving the page into different board. So first of all, we will have to create the APIs for it. So as for right now, we have delete page API, update page API, create get. Excuse me. I'm gonna be asking the AI to create 2 more APIs. We already have the API created on the backend side. Create 2 more APIs. One is gonna be what? Duplicate page. Second, move page to another board. So let it just simply create those 2 APIs in here. Let's see. Again, as for these types, we still need to reorganize it the best way possible. So we are actually gonna be storing them in a types of file, but as for right now, that's fine. Overall, what we are doing, that when it comes to duplicating, so we are making a request to pages, page ID and duplicate. Let me see on the backend side if that's the route or not. So on the backend side, when it comes to duplicating a page, so duplicate page ID and duplicate, that is fine. So the request goes there, and what result do we get from here? Just the duplicated page is returned from here, that's fine. And how about moving? Again, page is returned from here as expected. So when it comes to moving to a particular board, so we will pass the board ID in here. Now the interesting part is that we need to have the names and the board IDs of all of them. The question is, when I click here and when I click on move shape, I should be able to fetch the names of all the boards. Get all the boards. So we'll have to make a request directly from here, and that thing can be done easily too, not really big problem. So ultimately, let me change the UI part first of all. So this is the left sidebar that we have, and this is the page actions menu. Over here what I want, that I should have two more options. So for this thing I'm gonna be using emergent here. It will create the UI for me really well, and it's gonna be quick. I don't wanna spend time designing this stuff, then it can be done really quickly. So yesterday we were working on this particular part. I still have the few credits that can be used for it. So add two more options here, duplicate page, and second, move page to another board, make direct request, API request to get the boards from the backend. Later I'll organize it, but as for right now, just make the direct request. When hovering over the move page, I should see the list of all the pages. I think we can actually get the list of all the boards directly in here. We don't even need to make the request directly, because even if I'm here, I think the list of all the boards should be saved in the state. So the boards, let me see, board store, we just have the board store over here. Okay, that's fine. We have the page store, auth store, properties store we have, editor store we have, but we even need to have the board store. This is all about the emergent, let's get rid of that. So yeah, this isn't the best way to do it. So what can be better way? The better way can be that what am I actually doing? I have to restructure it before I actually work on that. So if I actually go to apps, web, features and editor. Before even that we have board in here and we have the store in here. So as we have the board here, so this board is used for editor as well as the dashboard, so that is fine. That simply means we can use the selectors there, and that's gonna be use boards. That simply means if I have it here, the store can directly be used. So use get boards API and use not API, we don't really need to have it. Because inside the editor canvas, not just this, we are loading the board. This is the editor part. Let me have a look at it well. So we have the hooks over here, and those hooks are actually being called inside this board in here, right? And that is fine, those hooks are being called in here. And when it comes to loading the board, we are directly sending the request. Let me see. Load board. Not really, we are using get board info when it comes to loading the board, and then we are loading the pages. That is interesting. We even have to load the boards info in the editor, because when we go to the dashboard page, so ultimately in here we have hooks, use dashboard, and it gets all the info about the board, as simple as that. And it is using get boards at the end. And getting the store from here. That simply means it should be, once we set it here, because first of all we'll do what? First of all we'll go to the dashboard page, so at that time the state is going to be saved here. Then we'll be redirected to the editor page, and the state will be available there. And especially when we go from here to there, then only it will happen. And how about getting the states again? That would be better, because if I'm directly moving to the editor page, then the state may not be there, or especially when we reload it. So whenever we reload the editor, at that time we have to get the list of all the boards. Interesting. So ultimately, whenever we are initializing the editor, use load board is fine. We even have to get the boards info. And when we are getting the boards info, so what all do we get from the get boards? We just simply get the boards, so like the list of all the boards. So how about collapse with query, set filter, list view notifications, and all these things, that is fine. And when it comes to initializing this, load board in this current board. As for right now, to make it quick, I'm gonna be having it here, cut and paste. We are gonna be importing it, and we are gonna be just simply setting it. As simple as that. So the board is going to be set, and once we've set the board, we can use it there. boards.ts. Let me ask AI if I wanna render the list of all the boards in the editor to move the page to a particular board, then I need to fetch all the boards inside editor too. Like whenever we get redirected to editor, we fetch all the boards plus board plus pages. Yes, that's a reasonable option, but I'd make one decision between essential editor data plus global application. When editor loads, you already fetch current board page of the current board, current page and those are essentials for the rendering editor. The list of all boards is only needed for features like move page, copy page to another board, and board switcher, breadcrumbs navigation. So you have two options: fetch all boards on editor initialization if your app has already relatively small number of boards, tens or even few hundreds. Simply include it in your initialization part. So like fetch load boards, all of them. And advantages are gonna be this: lazy load when opening move page. If user can have thousands of boards, don't fetch them up front. Open move dialog, then just simply get them. As for right now, we are gonna get them directly in here. So use load board, write the logic for load board. Whatever. Okay. So what it is doing in here? Export function, use load board. Return a callback, that's crazy, but okay, never mind, that's understandable. Use board state, store, use by what is the state name here? Use board store. State dot current board and all these things. Board store, board store, board store. The name should be different, but okay, never mind, we'll fix it. So ultimately I'm returning what? A callback from here, and sort of that's just gonna be called later on. Okay, that's not really a big problem. Ideally I should be returning the loading error and the load, but in here we are returning it directly. And promise all, that's gonna be the okay. There could be probability that the boards have already been set, that is also right. So when we are just simply loading it, So we can even check whether they are already existing there or not. That is also fine. We can go with this part as well. So first of all, we are gonna actually check what is the problem here. Boards and set board use board store actually here. Use board store, and then another one is gonna be the current board store. As for this one, format the load boards this way. Fine, thank you. Alrighty, these two things need to be removed, and let's just simply import these. And come on, one thing I left here, that is load the board, load it only when I don't have in state. Thank you. Let me see what it is doing. Boards, use set boards. So first of all, it is checking the length of the board. Otherwise, if it already has, it's returning from here, and it is just simply returning the boards. Otherwise, it is just simply trying to do the normal stuff that it should be doing. Then we have this part, modify this one as per the need. This is gonna be modified. So what we are actually doing here, that is initialize catch and all that is fine. We have a promise all. So inside this, it has three promises or three methods to be called one by one. First of all, loading the board and boards, then board and the page, and that is it. The job is gonna be done. Now what will happen, that inside the emergent, add two or more options, duplicate, and then get the boards info from zoo stand store. Alrighty, let's see. Hopefully it will be getting it done really quickly, but it's gonna take time anyway. So by the time that is getting done, what else we can just simply focus on? So at least this particular part is almost done. Like as soon as the front end is ready, we'll just simply implement it. And one more thing that we have to work on, well, that is if we directly go to the board, we have a few things over. Okay, it's ready, so let's go to this one first of all. Let's see what exactly it has done in here. So we have page actions menu, copy, Control C, and first of all, let's see if there are errors, fix it, and then continue going ahead. Anyway, what are we gonna be doing right here inside the editor? Left sidebar in the actions. There are errors here. Adjust the path for the board. Okay, that is fine. Okay, we'll fix it. Zoo stand selector features board store selectors dot if not present, that is fine. Parent left side, add two handlers and pass them down. uh, Adding two handlers and passing them down, that is fine. Not a problematic thing, we can continue with this. It's getting a big one. Still here we have the errors, we'll have to fix them. And but before that, let me get the overall setup ready, then we'll fix the bugs and all. Pop over content, actions menu, page actions menu. Where do we have the page actions menu? Okay, we are inside the page action and looking for page actions menu. That's crazy. Page actions menu and API helpers. For that thing we need to have duplicate and this. Alrighty, let's fix the API helpers first. The names should be API. So networking API, and right now we are talking about pages, right? So move page, let's name it API. Later I'm gonna be even renaming all of them, but as for right now, let's just simply go with this much. And this is fine. So what we are actually doing, that we are adding the page, once duplicating that is sort of right, but we need to change the, okay, the path is right already. This is insane. Handle rename, this is something that's not even being used for some reason. We'll see why it's not being used. Handle delete, we are not really focusing on this. Duplicate, so we are duplicating the page. Once the page is actually duplicated, we are just simply adding the page in the store. Fine with this. When it comes to handle move, optimistic, remove from the current boards list, that is right. So original, that's gonna be pages PID, and this, that's gonna be the original page that we are moving. Remove, so using the ID, that's actually gonna be removed. What are we doing in here? So we are just simply calling this. If your store keeps all boards page in one list, reinsert it, add page. Wait, this is, we are moving it, right? So we've already removed the page, and add page. No, this is something we don't really need to do. If your store keeps all boards pages in one list, reinsert it. Not really, we don't really need to do this part here. We've done this much, that is enough. If the moved page was currently open, route away, yeah, that is great. So we have the fallback in here, and we'll be redirected to that particular fallback. And if there's any error, then we are gonna be adding the original page, so it's like reverting back. Okay, fine, this is done. Now we have to fix this part. What are the errors here? Adjusting the path for the board type. Alright. Not bad either. And overall things are done. So what is actually happening? First of all, let's have a look at the result. Rename, move, and duplicate. Move board, new board. Yeah, this is the only board that we actually have. And then we are redirected to the board. Over here I should ideally be getting whether to create a page or not, but as for right now, let's go to the dashboard. We still have to focus on the UI part, but not really big problem. We have two boards right now, this and this. Let me create one more. New testing board. So this is the testing board. Let me create one more page. Testing board page. What I wanna check that first of all, whenever we are creating a page, I should automatically be redirected, but that's not happening. But that's not even a problematic thing. Coming back to this, let's just simply draw. This is gonna be the page 1 from testing board. Now what we'll do, we can duplicate it for sure. Let's see whether it works or not. Yeah, it does. What is this? Really? Doesn't it get any style by default? Probably the styling related stuff we are not really getting when we just do that. We'll fix this part, but we have it here, that is good. And now we can move to these boards. So we have FDS, we have new board. Let me send it there. FDS, we are redirected here, that is fine. If I go to FDS, this one, so we have it in here, that is great. Only one problem, and what is that? That is, if I duplicate it right here, so it looks crazy. That simply means it doesn't have any color there. That simply means we don't get any style when we duplicate. That's right. So duplicated page, but this one doesn't seem to be working as expected. Yeah, these two, they don't really have any style. As for the style, that simply means they don't have any appearance. So whenever we are duplicating it, duplicating what? Duplicating a page. This is problematic. What the hell? That is why it is problematic. It should be appearance here. Interesting. Sometimes these types of bugs do exist. Right now it is no doubt gonna be resolved. So let me delete everything from here. Let me even delete this part. Let me not delete it, because after that I'll be redirected to the board page only, and there's nothing. Hi there. Let's keep it in the middle. Create a frame. This is it. Now I'll duplicate this. भाई ठीक है, ये तो काम कर रहा है. These things are extra. Oh, why it does exist there? Probably because we restarted it. Yeah, that is right. Let me redraw a few things. Bye, whatever. Let me forget about the order. First of all, group them, so at least they are grouped together, and then just change the colors if needed. Alrighty, this is done. Now if I try to duplicate this, so this is the duplicated page that we have. The only one thing is that whenever we are duplicating something, we are not redirected to the another page. Page actions. So whenever we are duplicating, yeah, here we are. So the selected, we need to be redirected. So in that case, duplicate page, and we already have the page ID over here. So though we have router, we have it, router dot push to what's the URL, board slash board ID slash ID. So now if we try duplicating it, that's bad. Why is that so? Okay, we are adding board there. Is that troublesome? We did something bad in here. So router dot push and board ID and the page ID. Duplicate the page ID. It should actually be page.id. Let me see. First of all, delete this, and now if I duplicate this, what is the problem? This much just simply gets added there. Whenever we click on a page, what happens? Are we able to? Yeah, we are able to. It works, but handle rename, I don't think it's being used. So on rename we are passing the start editing. Inside start editing we have set editing page ID and set editing name. So that simply means set editing. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can completely get rid of this. Just one issue. This part. If I just simply write hi in here, then what will happen? So high is appended. Interesting. Router that we have in here, that comes from next navigation. This hooks allows you to programmatically change the routes inside this client. We have to, yeah, that is right. We have to just simply mention where we have to go. Navigate to / dashboard. The problem in here, that is we are not adding slash. First of all, let's get rid of this part. The problem is that we are just simply adding the board. It should be / board. That is it. Now it should be working fine. Yeah, as expected, this seems to be working. Now we have to fix this loading part. Yeah, this is insane. So when we move from one page, or whenever the loading actually happens, so we have to render it differently, or even better. So just a minute. Alrighty, so coming back to this one, we have this board over here, and these things are problematic because they just run anytime. And we have to stop doing this. So what do we want? That is loading the boards and the board info. That is fine, but loading the shapes and the page should be done inside the canvas itself. So doing it or loading the things at the top level is the problematic thing. So yeah, how can we resolve this? And the best thing could be that if I'm actually loading it in here, then this gets problematic, and especially when we are switching from one page to the another. So we just simply need to yeah, so let me do one thing here, and that one thing is loading the board is even fine because we are getting all the pages in here. Yes or no? Where is that? We are getting all the pages in here. But as for this is concerned, use load page manager, image manager, that doesn't need to be loaded in here. So we can just simply call it Okay, this is how it's just simply gonna go on. And what else that we can do now? This much is fine. We don't really need to pass it here right now. This is also fine. These things are great because now when we change the page, they are still loaded. Why are they loaded? I don't want this to happen. Okay, we'll see exactly why it's happening still. And now what I want, that is inside canvas itself here, I'm actually gonna load the shapes, so ultimately the info related to the page and all. We already have the image manager here, we can just simply pass it. And load and all. Error, loading. Right, we can use a use effect. Loading, error, reload. Callback, sort of like this. Let's keep it simple as of right now, and later we'll improve it if needed. I should rather be doing everything in there, but okay. Especially if this is just separate one. Let's not pass these things from here. We will pass, but we'll just pass this loading, or if there's any error, and use effect, load. Complete this. I wanna load separately, and it will not just simply complete, like there could be some things here and there, so that's what it's gonna be just simply working on. The remaining things are already there, so it is not getting what I said to it. Just this much is better. don't even return anything. Add a loader if loading or error message if any. If this OP is responsible for rendering the loading and UI, so that's not a good pattern. Well, that's bad. Alrighty. In that case, just return loading and error and keep use effect inside the hook. Yes, that's perfectly reasonable. That is good. As for the image manager and renderer, for some reason they are just simply rendering it again and again, so I'll have to make sure that I handle them or check them out later on. We are using the use effect directly in here, so that is also done. Now coming back to this, I'm gonna get loading and I'm gonna get the error. If loading that's really bad, but okay. Text what else can we do? As for the designing part, that can be designed using the AI. It's not really a big problem. Now we have to stop this thing from happening, loading board part. Initializing. This shouldn't be problematic, but let me see. Yeah, so this is not causing that to happen, so this is the thing that's remaining. Whew, let's see. Still that's loading board. We are actually rendering two things at a time. This is something that needs to be fixed though, like showing or rendering the loader only when there's a need, otherwise not. This is always gonna be there. That's the problematic thing. Next. Still back in there. That's not gonna do anything. Forget about absolute. Come on. This is behind this. Alright everybody, this is something that yet to be fixed though. So we have to work on this loading stuff. So that when something is loading, what the hell, what is this now? Okay, so that when something is actually loading, so that part is just simply rendered here itself. So that is something, the UI part we still have to focus on. Overall, this is fine. So we have to just simply show, enter the loader here, nowhere else. Anyway, I'm gonna be catching up soon. What time is it, or how long it been? 1 hour and 13 minutes. That is more or less fine. So the overall goal is to work on the projects for 2.5 an hour daily, and then we can just simply switch to another thing, so probably 3 hours, and then this is how it's gonna be done. As for this particular part, like the part where we are stuck actually right now, we'll be working on it very soon. Just simply gonna take a break